Internet, Yuki here with another episode of the Necken devlog. First off, snooze as usual. So good. It's been a couple of weeks since I recorded the last episode, and I've been busy doing tons of stuff. The first thing that I've been adding is the discovery mode. So last time you could see the whole level at once, and I didn't really want that, but I just hadn't fixed it yet. So right now you can only see part of the level, and by moving you discover more and more of the level as you go. And I think this looks good. There's a lot of juicy effects and stuff like that. It's not perfect, but this works way better than just, hey, here's the whole level from start. So I kind of like the approach of just getting the level out there when you that did not make sense. Well, just discovering the level as you go. So that's what I've been doing. I also spent a ton of time making a random level generator thingy, and I could probably talk for 20 minutes about how I made that happen, and like my approach and my design in the level editor, level generator. But that will probably be another video though. So right now, well, random levels, and I kind of like changed the approach of the game. Like earlier, I wanted the game to be a puzzle-based game where you play level 1, and when you beat level 1, you could play level 2, and it always looks the same, and it's always like level 2 is always like this, and you have to like figure out how to beat level 2. But right now I kind of took the roguelike approach, so the game is probably a roguelike right now, roguelite, or whatever you want to call it. So that's a new feature as well, and I've been looking into like a couple of other roguelites, I'll call them roguelikes, that I like, and like try to figure out, well, what do they have in common, and most of them, I think I found like 1 or 2 exceptions out of my 15 or 20 games that I found, like find the exit. So I tried to figure out why, and why that is a good thing, and I kind of added that myself, not because all the other games are doing it, but because it actually makes sense to just look for a way out, like a way out of the forest, and it also gives the player the tactical choice of, okay, do I just found the exit, do I backtrack and try to find everything else on the level and just try to complete the level fully, or do I just bounce and get out of here? I've been playing a couple of games where you basically just have to abandon the whole level. Like, okay, I want to explore more on the level, but I really can't afford it because it's getting too dangerous, and I really need to find the exit and just get out of here. And this is what the exit looks like right now. It's a portal from the old game, and well, bam, a new random level. So there's no connection right now between the first level and the level you have right in front of you right now, so it's just basically reload the scene. But the point is, you get to the next level and you will get to keep stuff and you'll progress and stuff like that, but you just haven't fixed it yet, so it's not really in the game right now. But my nose is really itching. But yeah, that's I added that. God, why am I doing this? So another thing that I added was, or changed rather, was that, like earlier I talked a bit about how trees and stone work, like, and how I try to get them different, and there's also the berries that heals your body. And earlier I also had a mechanic for regenerating these resources. Like, here's a tree, and if you gather a lot of wood from this tree, it gets slower and slower, and then it takes longer and longer to regenerate and stuff like that. But that was mostly because my plan was to have really small levels, and there's a very small area, so there's not much room for a lot of resources and stuff like that. So right now the levels are way bigger, and the groups are way bigger. Like this is about the size of one group, like this discovered area right here, and they look really empty when you only have a couple of resources there. So they still look empty, but they look a bit more occupied. That's not the right word. Well, they don't look as empty right now. So I changed the resources so they are depleting and they are not regenerating. So I can collect wood from this tree tile and it will not regenerate any longer. And I also added some kind of chance on the stone tiles. So the trees, my thought was that, well, there's a tree here, there's always wood, so you always get one wood when you collect from it, but the resource isn't really stone, it's more like iron or minerals or some kind of, it's not stone, so it's metal or something, not really sure. And there's like, there might not be resources inside of this stone, so there's about 30% chance you actually find anything in the stone. And right now I gathered from it 3 times and I received nothing, but when you do, you get 3. So you get either 0 or 3 resources each time you gather from the stone. So that's new as well. And last time I showed you a couple of buildings. Like I made 2 buildings and they didn't really do anything. So I added a tower, like a decent tower that actually works. So not really sure why that came up there, but yeah, so this is like a real tower. So if we find, like right now I disabled all the enemies just because, well, presenting stuff with random enemies is kind of hard. So let's just try to find a spawn tile somewhere here, and of course they are nowhere to be found. There we go. So let's build a tower and it will fire and it will find the nearest enemy in, like, I think it has a range of 2 tiles or something. And right now, as you can see, I kind of disabled the damage as well. But it shoots an arrow at the closest enemy, or like one enemy, until it's dead. So right now, well, it can obviously not kill it because it doesn't do any damage, but you still get the point. So you can build 2 buildings right now, and they're kind of connected together. Like the tower is really weak, but it can fire arrows, and the wall doesn't really do anything other than blocking the enemies for a couple of turns. And I think, like, as long as I get a couple of more buildings, it could be kind of useful. But I have a couple of ideas that I want to add in terms of buildings, but I just haven't gotten that far yet. And the last thing that I've been working on is items. So before, you kind of had, like, you have your body, you had your weapon, and your sword, which is a weapon, and you also had your shield. So your 3 different damage sources, but they always have like 10 durability and 5 damage at maximum. So I added new stuff that you can find. So this is a sword, and right now it I think it's about 10 health and 8 damage when it's full or something like that. Can't really remember, but you can pick up new random items, and like, there's some kind of progression going on. So well, random items basically. Right now I added, like, there are 6 items in total, and it's 2 different weapons of each damage source type. So there are 2 body types, 2 sword types, and 2 shield types. But I will add more, and I will also consider adding like special abilities. So like, you have this weak weapon, but when you wield it, you get more wood from gathering trees and stuff like that. Just random effects to well, get more out of the fact that you can find random items. And they're not like fully random, so it's not like Diablo 2 when you have, here's a sword and it happens to be magic and it happens to have this amount of damage and also this random effect slapped on top of it. It's more like, well, pretty much all the roguelikes where the weapon or the item is static. There's just a lot of items that you can find, and you've just happened to find this one. But other than that, I've only been adding like small effects. Like as you can see, that the tiles have a slight color variation is the word I'm looking for. So they're not like exactly the same. So they're very just a tiny little bit. I'll probably tune it down a bit. I think it's a bit much, but yeah. And yeah, that is everything I've been adding up until this point. And I'm not sure if you can hear it, but the computer is almost dying because of the recording. So let's wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, you can always comment down below. And well, hopefully I will see you again next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.